want to address those guys out there who are really looking to, say, get their foot into the world of racing. I used to race professionally, wasn't terribly good, but I did race professionally. And the one thing that was the takeaway for us was really, how do you properly represent the brands who are taking a chance on you? What are you doing to make their effort worthwhile? Obviously, racing is very expensive, and you're going to want to try to mitigate the cost of racing as much as possible. Whether that's getting a unit, a personal watercraft unit provided to you, whether that's riding gear or riding apparel, sunglasses, life vests, even your fuel, your aftermarket parts, any of these things can add up very, very quickly, and your budget can vanish. So what can you do to help mitigate some of that cost? It's actually very easy. First and foremost, racing isn't necessarily bringing in the dollars that it was maybe 15, 20 years ago. You're going to have to work around that. What you want to do is be able to present your social media audience, or the eyeballs that you can present to a sponsor, and say, hey, if you support me in my effort, I'll put your product in front of all these people. And I'll speak highly of your product in front of all these people. So I want you to take a page. I want you to stop and look at what Sea-Doo is doing online. I want you to look at their Instagram page, look at their Facebook account. I want you to look at their posts and see how many of those posts are actually generated by Sea-Doo versus just being shared from fans of Sea-Doo to their social media pages. You'll find 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 5 if it's a slow week, are actually from other people. It's from people who just love the product. They're doing the work for Sea-Doo for them, okay? That's a big deal. So a sponsored racer or a sponsored rider or a content creator, for that matter, who is receiving product from any brand, from any manufacturer, they're looking for an outlet to help get the word out that they don't have to spend money for. They don't have to hire someone to go and do it. Rather than hiring someone to work full-time to crank out social media content, they will hire effectively a brand ambassador or a racer. They'll sponsor a racer or a brand ambassador to do that for them. Now, one of the best takeaways that I got during my experience was seeing how some of the more seasoned riders really got it done. At the time that I was racing, I was also the editor of Personal Watercraft Illustrated. And one racer more than anyone else who got mentioned in magazine articles was a gentleman named Mike Fulmer. Mike Fulmer at the time was the longest signed Yamaha Wave Runner racer. He wasn't necessarily the fastest, he wasn't necessarily the winningest, but he always, without fail, got his press releases and pictures and ride reports the Sunday of or the day after on Monday after a weekend of racing. So he made that job really easy for us. So Personal Watercraft Illustrated, Watercraft World, and even Ride Magazine were always printing stuff from Mike because Mike was getting those press releases out. That's not to say that Chris McCluggage wasn't doing well, or Dustin Farthing, or Craig Warner, or any of the big racers at the time. But what Mike was doing that we weren't getting from Dustin Matsouras or Jeremy Perret was that Mike was sending us pictures and a recap that made for a really good press release and put his sponsors in a positive light. So how do you apply that to today? Well, that's actually very, very easy. First and foremost, with social media, everyone is their own press manager. Everyone can produce their own press releases. It's just the kind of quality press release or quality post that you can put out there. So pretending that I am a sponsored racer for Sea-Doo, and I go out to an event or a pro watercross event or an aquacross or Aqua X event, what I would do is be posting every day, multiple times during that race weekend, putting up pictures, video clips, little segments. I don't care if it's my wife or my team members with my phone running around taking pictures and taking video and putting that content up. All right. Also, make sure to use the official hashtags and different tags that they want in those posts. So definitely make those tags, definitely make those posts, but also you will have a person of contact. The person that you've reached out to, whoever it might be, you're going to want to send an email out. And you send them that email going, hey, I had a great weekend this weekend. Really, we did, you know, I placed 5th place, or I got 3rd place on the podium, or we had this, you know, we showed up and we had this great team, and here's a picture of our pit, and here's a picture of the ski, and here's me all geared up. Unfortunately, the water was really rough, and we broke our steering system, and we cheered on our fellow teammates, and we did our best, and we look forward to next week. Well, that's not really good news, but you've spun it in a good way. So there's lots of ways that you can take a ride report, send it out to the sponsors who are helping you out, and also make a lot of good social media posts that they might be able to share. In the sense that, say, Chris McCluggage, who races for Broward Motorsports and also is a manager of a Broward Motorsports store and races for Yamaha, he makes a post, tags Broward, tags Yamaha. Well, Broward might share that post and it'll recirculate, and then Yamaha might share that post. And guess what? Then I get a press release, being the magazine, I get a press release from Yamaha Corporate, and then I share that. So now that one post or that little bit of activity on a Saturday or a Sunday suddenly turns into a cascade of snowballing coverage. It's very, very simple, and it's really not too complicated once you get in the habit of it. Again, the idea is consistency. You got to be consistent. Now, if you're a content creator, if you got a YouTube channel or a different video channel, you want to definitely get people to rely on you for constant content. For example, the Watercraft Journal always publishes every day a new article, a new written article, every day at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That article goes live every single day. And then that newsletter goes out every Friday morning. Same thing with video. Sunday night, we publish a live podcast at 8 p.m. on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then every day through the week, we do what we call the quick topic video, and that goes live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People have become used to seeing that consistent production of content. If you want to be the same, you got to do the same. You got to do the legwork. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to do a daily video or a daily article. Not a lot of people can keep up with that pace. But you can do every Wednesday, every Friday, every Sunday, once a week. Or every 10 days. On the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th, you put out a video. You got to be reliable. And if you become reliable, you've suddenly got an audience who will set their clock by you. So that is a really quick way to garner a huge audience and to get that reliability that you want so that you can present it to a possible sponsor. Guys, I'm telling you, it's really not that tough. It just takes being reliable. There's too many flakes. I'm telling you. Not trying to be mean, but there's too many flakes in this industry. Too many people who overpromise and underdeliver. If you can meet your promises and fulfill your commitments, you're ahead of half the industry already. I'm not exaggerating. If you can over-deliver, you're the king of the castle. So again, if you want that kind of sponsorship, if you want that kind of support, you got to be reliable. You got to be consistent. And number 3, you got to be professional. Okay? Yeah, I'm filming from my backyard. You can hear my neighbor's dogs barking at me. You can hear the birds chirping. I can hear a lawnmower behind me. But the other half of being professional is just representing the brands in a positive, professional manner. okay? You don't come out here screaming and yelling. You don't trash talk people online. You don't be that kind of guy online, because a brand is not going to be able to rely on you in a professional manner. How can Sea-Doo rely on someone who's throwing temper tantrums on Facebook? It's not going to work out, okay? If they're putting all their eggs in your basket and you're throwing your helmet in the pits and you're getting in a fist fight with the tech inspector, you're not going to be that kind of material that they want to support. So again, your behavior also plays a big part. Professionalism is a big, big deal. And your professionalism will actually overshadow how good of a racer you really are, or how good your content is. They'll just be like, he does great content, but man, he's trouble. You want to be able to, you want the brands to feel comfortable in you being a representative of them. Okay, so what's the last point? The last point is be honest. Be honest, be forthright. You don't have to be Joe Isuzu. That's an old reference for you guys. But you don't have to sit there and just spew niceties. Like I mentioned before, you can be honest and you can say, oh man, things didn't go well at this event, or I really wish that they would figure out a little, make it easier for the racer. That's fine, you can say that. If you can even critique the product and say, man, I really like this, but unfortunately the stitches came apart here, or it's not real well ventilated, or the ski has this problem, but we're gonna fix it. Always end it with a positive. Always give critical advice. You can give critical advice, but make sure that it's constructive critical advice. All right? You want to make it positive. There's enough negativity out there. God knows there's enough negativity out in the world. So you want to be something that's a little bit positive. You can spin a negative into a positive if you just take a second to breathe. If you are considering getting into racing, if you are considering being a brand ambassador or a content creator and getting some sponsorship, please follow these very, very simple steps. You'll really find that they're useful, and I think it'll really benefit you in the future. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.